Watercolor is a very fun painting medium, but many people find it hard to master the skills involved. If you're a beginner and you have always wanted to try out watercolor painting, then this video is for you. I will walk you through a really easy and super simple watercolor painting scenery for you to get going and explore how watercolor is being used. I'm Clara and let's get started. Here's what you'll need. Watercolor paint. You can buy them from any conventional art store or bookshop to try out. Paper. You can get specific watercolor paper or normal drawing paper is fine too. Of course, watercolor paper will give you the perfect touch. Brushes. I recommend a small, medium and large brush. You'll need water too, a painting palette to mix your colors, and I'm also using my existing palette for this piece. And finally, a pencil for sketching, and you're all set to go. First, draw a line across the paper. It doesn't have to be straight because this is only a marking point to your horizon. Turn the pencil over and roughly sketch some mountains. Next, sketch a crooked fine line. This will be where your grassland is. And sketch two small hills. You may erase some unnecessary lines if you have any on your sketch, or even touch up some little details. Let's get started. Start off by wetting the top section. This is where your sky will be. I'm using only water. This is called the wet on wet technique. Make sure to put not too much water either because you don't want your painting to be too wet. Dab some water on your paint. I'm using light blue for the sky and spread it out gently. This will create a cloud-like effect when you simply move your brush in a half-circular movement. Gently control the amount of paint and water as you move your brush. And you can even add on a little white as well on the edges to highlight the clouds. One tip is to roll your brush as you paint. It creates a very natural look to your painting. And as you go along, you can add on a little more water to spread out the paint. When water is combined with paint, it does magic. So repeat the same technique with your mountain. This time, using the tip of the brush, roll the brush as you control the direction of your painting. This creates a very natural fringe on your mountain so it doesn't look mechanical. Slowly fill in the colors with your pigment. This is just a foundation layer, so don't worry too much about the color. Mix some yellow and paint the background on your grassland. Because there isn't any water involved on the foundation layer, this technique is called the wet on dry. And you can fill in the small hills too. As you lay the layers to your painting right now, you can start by reducing the amount of water on your dark blue paint pigment to create a darker shade for your mountain. Using the same technique, roll the brush. Shape it well. I usually use my rigger brush for more details. As you can see, I am rolling the rigger brush as I shape the mountain to create a more natural look. Keep filling the details as you go. And you can even add on some lighter color if you want to. A rigger brush is a pointy brush that gives you perfect details. So here comes the exciting part. Using the tip of your medium-sized brush, we are going to start painting the grass. Paint the grass by stroking your brush upwards in a quick movement, releasing your hand as you paint. Try creating different heights and lengths. And you can use a darker color pigment to add on some shadows at the bottom of the grass. And repeat the same on the small hills. While waiting for the paint to dry a little bit, you can start filling and adding details to your painting as well. I'm using a light blue color to create some highlight on my mountain. I can even use green to add on some greenery so that it doesn't look boring. Let's keep on going to the details. Keep playing around with your color pigment. I always recommend adding some dark highlights at the bottom and corners to add on some real-life effects. Right now, I'm using a little bit of water to smoothen the edges. I'm touching up the details with darker shades. Next, use some water to smoothen the edges of the grass. Then, drag the water down towards the lake area. Pick up some light blue paint pigment and dab it gently on the edge of the grass. Remember the wet on wet technique? When painting wet on wet, we don't have much control over how our paint reacts. This is a beautiful aspect of this technique. And I'm also adding a little bit of green later on to create a reflection effect on the water surface. Remember to control and shape where your water flows. You can even add white to create a natural look to your lake. For the next few moments, we are going to move on to adding details to your painting. As you can see, I'm smoothing out, experimenting with different colors to add on details to my painting. You can even move the grass in different directions. I'm using a darker color pigment and a different color to add on a little bit of cattails and even some flowers and additional details to my painting. It depends on what you want to add on. I'm using some red to create tiny flowers around the grass area. As you can see, details matter. I'm smoothing it out, experimenting with different colors. One tip to remember is that bright colors are usually used to highlight certain things, while darker shades are used to create depth. Fill in some extra objects to make your painting stand out. I'm adding a little bit more flowers and even a little bit more leaves and some shadows to create a more dramatic effect on my painting. Simply even out the colors gently. Here is a close shot on how you can add details to your painting. As this is a very simple painting, sit back and relax. Do not worry about experimenting, but keep exploring. Watercolor painting is about feeling and knowing when to stop adding details. The beauty of it is that it gives you the space to create a real life effect to your painting, giving it a breath of life to something you create. That's the end of our video. I hope you have learned something. Well, thank you Chanana for this opportunity. Find out more cool art videos under Seni untuk semua atas talian. And if you would like to connect, feel free to follow me on Instagram. Good luck!